Up next, Jeffrey Shapiro. He's the attorney, the private attorney for the New York hotel maid accusing IMF chief Dominique Strauss-Kahn of attempted rape. We're going to ask him how she's doing and ask him to tell us more about her and what's next in her case.
Later today, the former head of the International Monetary Fund is going to be in a New York court asking a judge to free him on bail.
That's right. Dominique Strauss-Kahn is charged now with sexually assaulting a maid in his Manhattan hotel room. He says he's not guilty. He resigned his post, though, yesterday, saying he's going to devote all of his time to defending himself.
Attorney Jeffrey Shapiro is defending Strauss-Kahn's alleged victim, representing her as her attorney. Thank you for joining us this morning. Now, prosecutors in the Special Victims Unit are taking care of the criminal part of this case. Tell us what your role is and how you came to represent her, and what your role is in the grand jury process.
Well, my role, I do not play a role in the grand jury process. The presentation of this case to a grand jury and the accumulation of evidence for the criminal prosecution is solely within the New York City Police Department and District Attorney's Office. My role here is to counsel her and to be with her, to explain what's going on, to try to help her get through this personally, on a personal level, and try to help her at some point get her life back on track.
When you say that, when you say a personal level, you're not somebody who has a personal relationship with. So
no, not at all.
That means you're to launch a civil suit at some point.
No, there's been no discussion about any civil litigation. That's not something that's on her mind. That's something that we've discussed. My role as an attorney who helps victims of negligence or other things, such as a rape victim, is to try to help her through her life at this point.
So how do you get paid?
I'm not being paid.
So it's a pro bono. This is a pro bono work that you're doing for her.
Absolutely.
I want to ask you a little bit about her state of mind, because she had to testify in front of the grand jury yesterday, and that's an ongoing situation. She may be called back. They have to present this case out there by Friday. What has it been like for her to have to relive, what she claims happened to her, and also how is she doing?
I don't know that it's possible for her to express what this is like. I think that if you've had any experience with someone who has been traumatized by a sexual assault, reliving it in your mind is hard enough. Having to recount it, even to a therapist, is difficult, much less having to talk about it on the record in front of a grand jury. I mean, it's extraordinarily difficult, and nonetheless, she's making it through this.
Did she feel that her employers supported her when and police supported her when she first reported this attack?
Yes. Yes. By the way, this is someone who was very grateful to have this job. She'd worked in this hotel for approximately 3 years. She was treated well by her superiors and her colleagues. They've supported her because she was a good employee, and they continue to support her, by the way. This was a job that she depended upon, but was also a job she was very grateful for.
You say that she's back now with her daughter, her 15-year-old daughter.
Well, they are together, yes.
And can you tell us a little bit about what the next steps are for her? Obviously, she's not going to be going to work. Now she's in a process where she's going to be in the legal system for, God knows how long.
Well, in terms of her being in the legal system, the role of a witness, or for this matter, a victim, initially is to present whatever evidence is asked from them for a grand jury. From that point forward, she's not so much in the legal system as a potential, witness, obviously, should this matter come to trial.
What's happening with the discussions of these other women, one in particular who had interviewed him some years ago, who are coming out of the woodwork and sort of saying that they've seen this type of behavior before? Does that fit into this prosecution in the system that she's in at the moment?
Well, I think the answer to that question will come from the strength and the credibility of these people who are making these accusations, and ultimately in any trial, whether somebody could take the witness stand and testify about prior acts really depends upon whether the judge lets it into evidence.
I also think this is interesting that the defense is saying that they believe that the evidence will show that it was consensual. They're also pointing to his behavior after the incident, that he calmly went to lunch with his daughter, not necessarily in keeping with someone who had just committed a violent crime. What physical evidence, if any, will help prove her story?
Well, The physical evidence or forensic evidence has been accumulated by the police and the district attorney's office. They possess it, they control it, and I can't comment on it.
Some of it is leaked out, though, that there's swaths of carpeting that were removed from the floor, as well as other things. How is that going to play into proving that it was not consensual if his defense is that this was a consensual sexual encounter?
Again, my commitment to the district attorney's office is that I would do nothing to interfere with what they're doing. All I can do is speak on behalf of this woman who I have, my client, who I have spoken to at length, and I will tell you that in terms of what I think the strongest part of this case will be her testimony.
How many times have you met with her?
Quite a number of times.
Quite a number of times. All right. Jeffrey Shapiro, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks
for being here.
Okay.